I was curious. You mentioned after one of the games last week that you guys were kind of putting a Band-Aid on things that you've had in the past defensively. I'm wondering if you meant in terms of experience of what you have, or in terms of personnel, maybe not having the length and size that you've had before.
I think more the personnel. It's a combination of both. And so not being able to cover certain things, we're going to have to try to manipulate it and move it around and get better at it. That's more so what I meant.
And you mentioned you wanted to really focus on defense this week in practice. How's that been going for you guys?
It's been going pretty good. It's been going pretty good. The last couple games, just the 3-pointers that we've been allowed just can't happen. That's been a big emphasis, obviously. The rebounding part is still an emphasis. And especially against USC, and they're so big, rebounding is going to be a huge part. And then the third is going to be defending without fouling. That's a big part of it. They were plus 18 from the foul line when we played them in the first game, and we were negative 10 on the rebounds. And so that's a combination of things that we have to, to win this game, we're going to have to be able to do that for sure. Better.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Percy, go ahead, Percy.
Oh, hey, how are we doing?
Percy.
Hey, just can you touch on a bit just the season that Marcus has had, everything that you've asked of him, and it seems that he gives you an offensive spark when you need it.
He is a very, very good offensive player. He's uncanny. He, especially with the way, they guard some of the other guys, it gives him the ability as a third guy to be able to get in the paint and make plays. Scoring's been a big part of it. Another part would be, I think he also has the ability to assist. And I think that could be another, taking another step would be not just scoring, but maybe 4 or 5 assists, where we can get our shooters open. I think that's a big part of it. And, but definitely on the offensive push, he's been really good for us.
Hey, and, I'm trying to get a handle of his offensive game here. I've been doing this for some time, just like you have. Have you, seen anything quite like it? It kind of reminds me of like maybe a Mark Jackson, maybe like back in the day, but he just has this unorthodox way of scoring.
He does. And that's just, I think he's got a really good basketball IQ. It allows him to be shifty and find ways. He knows how to use his size and his body. And then he's got funky little shots. In 2003, when we won the national championship, we had a kid named Billy Edelin, who you can say, and Marcus was a better 3-point shooter. Billy, you could say, couldn't shoot, and he would go to his left, spin back to his right, and shoot like a little half hook, and it was unstoppable. And like we're playing at Notre Dame, and he has 28, and they know it's happening, and they can't stop it. And that's when you're a pretty darn good offensive player. So,
yeah. All right, Hop. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Chris Fetters, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Hop. Good to see you.
Hey, Chris.
Just was curious, obviously in the game, you got foul situations, you got all the rest, but when it comes to settling into your rotations, are you starting to get more comfortable with that, especially as you get to know these guys a little bit better, and especially with the transfer guys?
I think so. It just, we still have the same per se warts, it goes back to sometimes your best offensive guys don't let you be the best defensive guys. And that goes back to experience, size, athleticism, so all those different things. But I'm feeling more comfortable with these guys. I think they're getting a better chemistry. Since the Cal game, we've shot exceptionally well from the 3-point line. That's a plus. We've had one bad half shooting the ball, and that was at Oregon State. But for the most part, we've been shooting a lot better. We've been able to score a lot better. The only thing on the offensive end, which we can clean up, is, sometimes we turn it over a little bit too much in turnovers that are not like 30-second shot clock or an extra pass. It's kind of turnovers to touchdowns. It's a ball reverse pass or something that they get a layup. Those are the ones that those are 4-point plays, and we can't afford to have those. But I definitely on the offensive end, we're feeling a lot more comfortable with these guys for sure.
And I know it just feels like maybe USC is not a fantastic matchup for you guys just in terms of personnel. But in the 6 games since the last time you saw them, is there anything that you feel like is allowing you to feel better about this particular matchup?
Well, I think, it goes back to, we're going to have to rebound the basketball. They are big. They are big, and they're not just big, but they're good big. And that's at every position. They've got great length. They're a good passing team. And then they're really good interior going to the glass. And one of our weaknesses has been rebounding the ball. And so, we've got to do a really good job. We're going to hopefully do a good job getting them to miss. And then it's going to be our toughness and our adjustments, hopefully, are going to allow us to rebound the ball better. We did it against Colorado. We did it against Utah. And I think it's going to be a big part of this game. And when you rebound the ball too, it doesn't allow them to get the ball again and then where you have to foul them, and that plus 18 from the foul line is something that we were concerned about. And that was another thing that we didn't do against Colorado and Utah. It was fairly even. And so those are 2 factors I think that are going to be big in this game. And I feel like if we can do those, we'll have a chance to win this game. We've proven, obviously we haven't shown consistency, but we've been able to play with the top teams, and USC is no different. They're a top team, and we have a game plan, and now we go and execute it? We'll see tomorrow, but I think we have the plan to beat them.
All right. Thanks, Hop.
You're welcome.
Dan Rainey, go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Mike, Cole Badgermug kind of intrigues me. He's got all this size, he's got athleticism, but he seems a little reluctant to kind of let himself go out there. Is that either being young, a small town guy, or could you just size him up a bit?
I think he's a really talented player. He didn't play a lot last year. Being new to this team and our system, we didn't know if he was going to be eligible until very late. But he's a guy that just wants to be really good, works hard every day in practice. He has a great first step. He can get where he needs to get. Extremely competitive, but learning a new system, just like anybody. But his size, his skill for his position, I think he's going to be a really good player for us for sure.
James Price, go ahead, James.
Hey, how's it going, Coach?
Hey, James.
Oh, sorry there. Hey, we saw how talented Evan Mobley was in your guys' first matchup with UFC, and I know you don't want to reveal your exact game plan, but in general, what do you think you have to do to limit a player like that?
You got to go to church, and he's a really good player, and he's not just a superstar player; he's a superstar person. If you watch, he makes plays for his team. He doesn't play selfish. He plays unselfish. He impacts the game not only on the offensive end, but I think they've done a really good job defensively this year, and I think he's the major factor. He can switch. He can protect the rim. He's got exceptional length, and he's got exceptional timing. Like he's a basketball player, not just his size. So he's a heck of a talent. To slow him down is, can you limit his touches? Can you keep him away from the rim? And then defensively, are you able to space him out where, you can take advantage of pulling him away from the basket so you can get to the rim? Or if he is guarding somebody that can shoot, keeping him spaced. So maybe that's some place that you can take advantage of them. But they've got a really good team. They've got good chemistry. They've got experience. They've got young superstar. And it'll be a heck of a challenge for us for sure.
Got it. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome, James.
Hey, Coach. Defense I know has been frustrating this year, and you've been searching for answers, getting out of the zone sometimes, trapping sometimes. I mean, in a perfect world, do you want to sit back in that zone? Do you want to mix it up? Or do you feel as though coming out of that zone gets you away from who you really are?
Well, coming out of the zone gets us away from what we are. So we want to stay in the zone. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give a couple different looks. Right now, the way the zone is, we were just, getting really hammered on the glass in a lot of different ways. And, against this team, I think every game is going to be a little bit different. You don't want to get away from who you are, but you also want to come up with a game plan if it's not working, of how you can win this game. And so that's what we're really focused on. That's why we made the adjustment. And, you know, we just got to keep getting better at it. And this year's, you know, defensive team is, you know, we've had games where we've rebounded. We've had games where we've been able to be put into position to win against really good teams. And we just got to, you know, have the combination of getting some stops, not putting teams on the foul line, not letting the team make 10 or 12 threes. If they make 5 or 6, fine. 10, 11, and 12, not good. And then on the offensive end for us, you know, us shooting the ball, we've really shot the ball well. We've got really good guards, and you know, sometimes I think we might have to be in position where we've got to make 10 or 12 threes in these games.
And with Nate, you know, down low, I know you don't have a lot of depth at the front line. How important is it to keep him out of foul trouble on the defensive end to get his offense going?
You know what, Kim, it's important. You know, we don't have a lot of depth down there. And in that early foul trouble, it kills your rotations, it kills a lot of things. And so we might do some things, you know, it goes back to defensively, you know, pick your poison. You know, do we have to help with double teams? Do we have to help in certain ways? If you do that, it's just going to open something else up. But I think, you know, keeping him in the game is really, really important to us with our lack of depth at the center position.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Next question, Lars.
Hey, Coach. Just 2 quick questions. On Eric Stevenson, how do you feel it's helped his game grow to where I noticed when he misses the first 3, he catches and tries to drive to the lane instead of just putting it back up. How much do you feel his game has kind of grown or evolved as the season has gone on?
Well, Eric, you know, it's all about his confidence. You see after California game when he had 27, you know, he's been really, really consistent. We're trying to get him shots out of the offense. He brings a competitive nature that we love and need. And he's a great player. He just, you know, I think early on in the year, we were messing with different lineups. He was new in the system. Defensively, we were trying to figure some things out. We didn't have a normal preseason, but I think he's hit his stride in a lot of ways. And, you know, he's not going to be perfect every game, but I think that his consistency and his confidence and his ability to make shots has been huge for us when we've played well this season.